Hello, I'm Tyler Tully. Lumos Diagnostics specialises in cost-effective and complete point-of-care diagnostic test solutions to help healthcare professionals more accurately assess and manage medical conditions. I'm joined now by company CEO Doug Ward to tell us more. Doug, you've been making some solid progress with your FebriDx product. Can you start by giving us a quick rundown of how it works and why it's becoming such a valuable tool in clinical practice?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on here today. So FebriDx, we think, is probably one of the most unique tests to come out into the medical field in quite some time for blood testing for infection. So the way it works is someone with an infection, a respiratory infection, will go to the doctors, and many times the doctor can't tell, is that caused by a virus like influenza, or is it caused by a bacteria? Well, you can treat a bacteria with an antibiotic, and many times the doc is unsure which one is it, so they may prescribe the antibiotic even though it's a viral infection, which is not good. So our test, the quick test, whole blood, 10 minutes, right there at the doctor's office, that can distinguish, is it bacteria or is it viral? So we think this test is going to end up changing the practice of medicine and make it much better both for the patient and for the doctor.
And you're working on what's called a CLIA waiver study and announced a related milestone recently via a partnership with BARDA. Can you share a bit about the study and how the partnership supports it?
Yeah, absolutely. So our current FDA clearance for our product is what's called a 510K, and it's what's called the moderate complex environment, which means you need to be a trained operator. We think that the best opportunity to really have an impact on the practice of medicine is to bring our product to what's called the CLIA waived environment. That means you can be an untrained operator, and the product will work terrifically well with you performing in a untrained setting. So we have to do a study for the FDA. We have the U.S. government, through its BARDA agency, is funding us to do that study. They're providing $3 million for us to do this study. We started the study in December, and we're expecting that study to finish up probably later on in the summer this year. We currently have probably enrolled about 350 patients in the study. We think we'll probably have to enroll around 800 in total to reach the number of 120 bacterial positive patients into the trial. So, we're looking forward to the finish of the trial and then submitting that and hopefully bringing that product to market in a CLIA waived environment, which is about 15 times of a bigger market than the moderate complex, which means that the product opportunity is probably over $1 billion for this product line in that CLIA waived environment. So it's, we're very happy about the progress there.
And your business model includes a strong focus on B2B partnerships. How are you working with companies like Hologic, and what's the latest on that collaboration?
So we really have two different business units, right? We have our products group, which is the FebriDx product and BARDA, and we have a B2B services business. And within that, we do a little over a dozen different partnerships every year with various firms to help them develop products that they may want developed and or manufactured. Probably one of the most important project that we have is the Hologic agreement. And Hologic is one of the world's biggest women's health company. They have a test called FFN, fetal fibronectin. And this test really helps determine if a pregnant mother is going to have preterm birth of her child. And this test is a terrific test. FFN is Hologic is the only manufacturer and provider of the FFN test. That test, though, is about 20 years old. It needs to be upgraded to current, standards and instrument and equipment. So we're developing their next generation instrument and test for them. And we have an IP agreement that we signed a year ago. That was for $10 million US. We have our first contract for development that was worth about 4.7. just a couple weeks ago, we announced we signed another agreement for a scope expansion for that work, and that was for about 800,000 US. That part of it should be completed this calendar year, and then we'll sign the next 1 to 2 phases of the agreement with additional contracts with them to continue to develop that product and bring it to market for them.
So finally, Doug, what are some key things that investors can look forward to in 2025?
Yeah, well, already, right, we announced our mid-year results, and those were terrific. People would have seen that we had terrific year-on-year growth in sales, and in addition, we had very nice EBITDA numbers compared to what we had a year ago as well. So I think that they can expect that we'll have similar numbers in the second half of this year from a financial standpoint. Now, insofar as accomplishments and announcements, I'd say that the biggest one that you're going to see will be for the CLIA waiver study. As we reach milestones in that program, first hitting the 500 patient and then the last patient in, and then our submission to the FDA. We'll expect to do announcements around all of those events this year. And then as we progress the Hologic agreement and hit milestones in our feasibility development for them, we'll be announcing those as well. So a number of very significant milestones to be talked about in the near future.
Well, it definitely sounds like busy times ahead for the company. Doug, thanks for joining us today.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.